G'day everyone. It's been a couple of years since I did a garden tour, so I thought it's about time we went and did another one, show you what we've got around the place and what we're planning for the upcoming spring. But I'm going to do it in 3 parts, because if I did it all in one, this would take ages and ages and ages. And I don't think anyone wants to sit through quite that much. So we're going to start with the front yard, which is a bit of an orchard more than anything else, and what we've got planned here and what's actually growing at the moment. So let's make a start. A lot of work I've got to get done here, but we've got a pomegranate growing here that I grew from seed actually. So that's going really well, and we've had 1 pomegranate off it. So I know it's going to fruit, and I know the fruit is going to turn out quite well. It's quite tasty. This one here hasn't fruited in a long time, and it's a Brazilian cherry, I think, from memory. And as we can see, it's finally flowered after ages. This is a very sour cherry, not my favourite in particular, but we'll grow it and we'll keep it going. I've had it in for years and years, so it's part of the house. All right, if we come up here, we've got a bit more going on. We've got lots of old rose bushes. These have been in here since we moved in. And I know the previous people never planted anything. They didn't do anything in the garden, in fact. So these must be at least 40 or 50 years old. So we'll keep them alive as long as we can. The asparagus bed here, I've mentioned in a previous video, I need to empty out because the tree roots have got in there and it's strangling the asparagus, and it's getting to the point where I may have to leave it for another year. But these beds I'll empty out and I'll take them somewhere else and use them. But I'm going to put fruit trees in pots all around here so I can move them around as need be. This is a strawberry guava that again grew from seed, and it just fell off the main tree and grew, and we get lots and lots of them here. Don't really make a lot of use of them, but we should. There's a dried out one up there. Don't worry. But it's not its season at the moment. It'll get covered in fruit, and unfortunately covered in fruit fly, and it's a bit of a problem. But we'll try and keep that under control. So moving further around, I like this little path we put in. It's nothing fancy, but it's really a nice environment. And in here we've got the main strawberry guava, which gets covered in fruit, but as I said, we don't use as much of it as we should, and it does attract fruit fly, so it's a little bit of an issue. Coming in further, we've got the camellia that came with the house. Very, very pretty flower on there. Got one left. There we go. And we're going to keep this going to attract the bees, and more importantly, the wildlife. I'm not sure if it'll come through on the audio, but there's birds chittering all around me. We've got little honey eaters and bee eaters, magpies, woolly wagtails, lots and lots of birds around. Coming further up. And this is a persimmon I did a pruning video on a little while back, but we can see there's lots of new buds coming on. It's just starting to get all its new growth. It's straightened up a little bit, and I really hope we'll get another really good crop of persimmons for the lady curmudgeon who likes them. I don't. So persimmon, really nice, really productive. One of the garden beds down here has been partially cleared out, but these are the sort of things we're going to be putting in pots along the fence line here. So, and because they're in pots, the other tree roots won't come up in here. But here we've got my pecan shoshone, and we're just starting to get the new growth coming out on it. This has only come in this year from diggers. I don't think we'll get any pecans off it this year. Very unlikely, but fingers crossed it'll grow nicely. Over here, I forget what we've got. What have we got? There it is. Oh, that's right. This is my orange berry, an Australian native. And they should grow quite tall, and has small, very, very tasty, citrusy-like berries. Rufus is upset we're outside, out the front. So, yep, we've got the orange berry. And here we have another one of our mulberry trees. So just a black mulberry. This will stay reasonably small, being in a pot, but it'll cover that main road up there and cut down a bit of the noise. This is a dwarf Chatoot mulberry, and again, it's only been in the pot. I've only had it for a year, but if we look down here, we're getting mulberries already. And these are meant to be really nice, really, really sweet. So hopefully I'll just get a couple off it this year anyway. But it's nice to see that we've got all this new growth. It's not grafted, so this one should be okay. I don't think it's grafted. I better check. No, it's a seedling. So we've got another branch down here, and I'm not going to trim that off because I want to keep it as a low sort of bush. Well, low sort of bush. Okay, so moving back out to the front. Honey eater. Nice little bird. Out on the front verge, which is a council property, I've got a few nice flowering trees in. These are an Australian native of some sort. Lots of ruby saltbush, which gives a little red berry which you can eat, but like a lot of bush tucker, blah, not very nice. Some frangipanis for the flowers, but in this area is my overflow. In here we'll plant any pumpkin or other things that I've got too many seedlings of, and people can come by and help themselves if they want. We have another one of our ancient old rose bushes here, but I tend to use this for parsley and chilli and other herbs. We've got a couple of Australian native bluebells in here, which is an edible flower, I think. Nice one here. This is again an Australian native, incredibly prickly, and it's a finger lime. Not sure what colour it is, but there we go. But incredibly prickly. So I'm keeping that in a pot to keep it under control. Going down this side, we have the ruby saltbush, just sort of an edge. And in here, we had, once upon a time, a pawpaw, which we named Johnny Rotten because he rotted. So we'll dig that one out. This is what it should have been looking like. Another pawpaw. And if we come in close, you can see we have flowers. So we may actually get some pawpaws from this dwarf pawpaw that I've got in here, grown from seed like most other things that I have. This is a psyllium, which is a funny little berry that we can get. And I'm not sure if it made it. It actually gave us quite a few fruit last season. I take that back. I was a bit worried about it because of all these dead parts here. But if we get the curmudgeon camera person to come around this side, we can see new growth finally coming on. Yeah. So we've got new growth coming on there. This is a quince, again, grown from seed. And he's going okay. It's only a couple of years old, so it's got a while until he fruits, I think. I pulled all the ginger out of here. This is a kaffir lime that got really, really badly hit by the hot weather we had last summer. And it's just starting to come back now. I've given it a little bit of a prune. Lots of new growth coming on, so it should recover. And I just noticed a baby gall wasp. So we've got to get rid of that. We have a locust tree, which is an interesting fruit that I actually got from the people across the road. They tend to drop their fruit, and they've got a large seed in them, and they sprout up all over the place. So I dug a few of them up and planted them, and this one survived. Locusts are nice. The problem I find with them, all the fruit comes ready at once. It doesn't make a particularly nice jam or preserve, so you end up with hundreds of locusts, and you get really sick of them because there's so many, and you've only got the one fruiting. But it's still worth it. If I keep them nice and small, not too many locusts, won't take up too much space. This is old man saltbush. So old man saltbush is again another bush tucker, but unlike a lot of the others, this is quite nice. It's like a salad, and the leaves you just sprinkle in with your normal salad as a green, and they're quite salty. So you get a real salt hit when you eat them. A bit like a salted salad, I guess. But that's actually very nice. And you wouldn't use too many of the leaves in a salad. And it grows madly, and you can grow it from cuttings. So that's nice. And here we go. I'll actually pull this one off. This is a Tahitian lime growing in a pot. Gets a little bit neglected, but as you can see, absolutely covered in flowers and baby and baby fruit down here. So it'll be quite productive. And somebody's broken that, so I'll have to actually cut it off, cut that branch off. And the last little bit we have, I almost missed this one, and this has been with me for nigh on 30 years. I bought it for my wife because she loves Indian guavas, and it was in her house before we got married. So I dug it up and I moved it with us. And in actual fact, I think we moved 2 or 3 houses before we finally planted it here. And it's really, really productive. I've managed to control the fruit fly on it mostly through bagging and spraying with garlic and chili spray, but very, very susceptible to fruit fly. So make sure you bag it and take care of it and pick the fruit up, or you will get fruit fly everywhere. So if we come up to the patio, it's not really much of a veggie garden, but it is some very nice things here. So I tend to grow herbs in the hanging baskets here and some marigolds, which I actually get the seed saving. There's a marigold, and these are all grown from saved seeds. We get the top of it, and look at that. It's a whole bunch of marigold seeds, which we can carefully plant, or we can go, and they'll come up. But you never need to buy marigold seeds more than once. Do a few flowers in here, just for a bit of brightness. The sick-looking hydrangea, but he's coming good again. And one of my favourites. This we grow for the aroma of the flowers. Absolutely magnificent. And it's a white gardenia. The perfume from these is phenomenal. And we've got another frangipani. Again, Lady Curmudgeon's favourite plant, one of her favourites. And this one from memory was a bright red, not the white and yellow, which we actually bought from a nursery. You'll notice there's lots of branches coming off it. I'm going to take a few of these off and try and regrow them, so we'll have some more frangipanis. So that's a really brief tour of our front yard, which is the small bit. We'll be doing more on the side and the patio and the greenhouses, and then I'll do one just of the backyard where the main orchard and veggie patch. It's probably not the most productive area that we've got. Hopefully that'll improve when I've got the potted fruit trees up by the fence. Next we're going to do the side and the patio and the greenhouses as one video, and finally we'll have a look at the very back where most of the fruit trees and vegetable gardens are. So thanks very much for watching. Remember, like and subscribe so you can catch up on the other videos of the yard. Enjoy life, and I'll catch you in the garden.